Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Welcome to the Rad Bad Stay at Home Dad podcast, where I'm your host, Jason, along with my illustrious co-host, Chris.
That's right. And as always, this isn't the view, damn it. This is the dad's point of view. Jason has 3 kids. I have 2. Together that equals 5. And while the moms are away, we keep our kids alive, which gives us all sorts of funny stories, conundrums, and other fun stuff that we're here to share with you on episode 14. Jason, can you believe it? Episode 14 already.
100 downloads. Wow.
Wait, only 100? We haven't improved upon last week?
No, we've improved upon
Okay.
100 plus.
Okay.
100 plus. 100 plus.
Okay, there we go. And counting.
So in case you want to add on to that 100 plus, you surely can. The way you can do it is by going on to any streaming platform. That's right. iHeartRadio, Apple, Deezer, Amazon, wherever you podcast at, you can find us there at Rad Bad Stay at Home Dad podcast. That's right. So check us out for sure on all those platforms. Not only that, follow us on all of our social media. So Twitter and TikTok at Rad Bad Sad. That's SAHD. So Rad Bad SAHD. Now, I'll be excited if I see any of you guys subscribe to our YouTube, because we also go live on YouTube. So we're live on YouTube here, which is Facebook, and on our main page of Rad Bad Stay at Home Dad on Facebook. So go ahead and make sure you like, share, comment, be a part of the festivities. We love you. We're glad that you're here. Come join us, man. We got some good conversation today. My fellow co-star just had a birthday. He has traveled around the sun. One whole revelation. How does it feel, my friend?
Pushing 40.
Pushing 40, man.
Pushing 40. Not a gray hair on my head and not a bald spot or receded hairline. So life is good in that department.
Right? Your hair, the hair looks amazing as usual. What up, though? Jess, was good with you? I was, you know what? Funny thing is, before we jump into the thing, this just shows my compassion for the male species that is of the Caucasian persuasion. Seen a young man, he was out and he had his hair done just perfect. It looked like a perfect Johnny Bravo, but he had dark hair instead of blonde. And I was just looking at it like, man, I wish this is the one time that I wish that I could have like the Caucasian persuasion, because I want that good hair like that. I want to be able to put some gel in it, come out of a pool and just do one of those, like the little suave move.
It's a give and take. I had a hair, but I'm also only 5'8", so I got 2 brothers over 6 feet, and then I got one who is an inch taller than me, but he's ripped as shit. But you know, they're all dealing with hair issues, so you give and you take, man. I was joking with my dad yesterday. They came out to dinner with us. I said, "Hey, no gray spots, no bald spots, no job."
No stress for you. That's what it is. It's
living the dream of no stress. No, man, it was a good day. My wife she goes above and beyond and spoils me and gives me stuff that I don't deserve or whatever. But I was appreciative, had a very good meal. A couple adult beverages. I think what melted my heart yesterday is when I went from school. Lily comes running, like she ran past me, saw me, came back. She comes running to my arms, jumped in my arms, started giving me a hug, and she actually teared up a little bit. And she said, Daddy, I miss you so much. I wish I could have spent your whole birthday with you.
Oh, man.
And I was like,
there's in that little girl right there.
Right. And it was sincere, and it was like, that right there is a good enough gift. And then she actually, I found out about this a little early, but her present to me was her and I are gonna go see Clifford the Big Red Dog, the live action movie.
That's awesome.
Because she knows it's my favorite movie, and she also whispered, it was my favorite book as a kid, and she actually whispered in my ear. Plus, Mommy says that we can also spend $5 and get popcorn.
Go ahead and splurge a little bit. Cha-ching.
Yeah, like, sweetie, that's just a perfect gift. I mean, she thought of me. It was cute. She thought that Clifford's coming out in Jackson. She was just bouncing off the walls waiting to tell me about it. So I'm blessed to have a daughter like her.
Yeah, you are, man. On the other hand, I love my blessed daughter as well. Quinn, we having struggles today. She wants to be madly independent, but we're starting to get cold here in Minnesota. Snow flurries right now outside, but it wasn't when we were getting ready for school. And she wanted to wear sandals, like with the kids or the kid. I don't know the name of it, but they have the holes in them with the rubber bottom. They almost are shoes, but they have holes in them.
Crocs,
not Crocs.
Okay.
They are they're like mountain sandals. Like if you're going hiking and they're just good, like cover your toe. Anywho, she wanted to wear those, and I'm like, no, babe, you cannot wear those. Y'all gonna go outside. Your feet gonna get cold. And she gave me I don't care. Like I'm gonna be okay. And she fought me on it the whole way, and we're yelling at each other. And I'm just like, I can't take it anymore because I've been nice. I was saying please. I said thank you. I said, can you help? But Keens, thank you, Jess. Keens. That's exactly what they are. And I'm like, help me help you. That's all I want to do. We're gonna be late for this bus. I don't want that to happen. And then on the way to the bus, I had to apologize to her. I'm like, look, man, I'm sorry. I don't want to be a mean dad. Like, help me not be a mean dad by just listening to me. I know what I'm doing. Like, you know what I'm saying? I have 3 of you. I figured this out so far. But she didn't like it. And then later today, the reason I'm telling the story, later today, this evening, she's getting ready for bed. And I told her to go get ready for a shower. And she had a meltdown because she didn't want to take a shower. And I started to yell a little bit. And she just looked at me and goes, Dad, you said you'd apologize and don't do it again. I'm like, oh, shit, man. You are killing me with this one, man. The memory on these little ones are big. So while I love her, she brought me a tough time today. Today was a tough one with her. That's what I have. The counteract with your saying. So there's a lot of good on your end.
Oh no, there's there's bad as well.
Of course.
I'm sensing a pattern here, and it fits Quinn's age, of that age of just the high emotions, like coming out of the meltdowns, but still having them, but then also, understanding you something and you going back on your word, and then bringing that up, and it's like you're not holding up your end of the deal. Just get the damn shower and get the smell away. It's for the group. I mean,
it's for the group of us, right? What I'm starting to really feel is that out of my 3, Margot's I think is gonna. I hope it switches, and I don't want to put this on me. I'm gonna knock on wood. I really think she might hit me with the terrible 2s. She's gonna be the one with the terrible 2s. Reason being, the reason I say that is because she's learned no already. Like she got it down pat. Like I'm like, let's go get your PJs on. No, let's get out of. Let's go for a nap. No, and I'm talking about eye curl, foot stump, and I say, hold on, little darn it, because she'll be 2 on the 25th of this month, and I'm like, how are you comprehending what you do, what you will and will not do right now? I don't like this right now. And she's been a lot more stern than the other ones have been at this time frame.
Did you tell her that her name is Margot, not Marno?
I'm gonna use that one, actually.
Margot, put your shoes on.
I'm gonna use that one. I promise to you I will.
Yeah.
Oh man. So you just getting inch closer to 40. You
Getting
had
there.
a good time. Where'd you guys go for dinner? What'd you eat? Like, I know we're gonna go see Big Clifford with a date with Lil, but what else? What else happened?
Day at home. Jack was working at home yesterday, and so I just another day at home. Did some yard work, got my workout in, and I've been behaving really well this week. We got be on the beach next week, and then the weekend after that is the weekend. Yeah, the weekend after we get back is Dave and Kelly's wedding. So I've been trying to behave a little bit with food and other stuff. So
Sure. So
by the
hold on.
time,
Go ahead.
oh, you're good. You said, hold on. What's up?
We going on the beach? Hold on. Explain this. You just breezed over that like it was nothing.
Oh, we're going. We'll be in Florida for Thanksgiving.
Oh shit! Here we go again.
This man right here. We go. Oh yeah, we're gonna be at the beach. Come up.
It's been 6 days since I've had a weekend away, so I need another one. I'm telling you,
I was just tough. About to say that. Like, guys, go back to the last episode. He was excited to go up to Ely with his high school friend. You know, the weekend off from the family and everything.
By the way, him and I are getting together tomorrow night too for dinner and game night with another buddy. So it's.
Oh hell no!
God damn! I gotta use sounds for you today.
Yeah, this is your future. You just live the dream. No, I'm absolutely teasing. We do Thanksgiving in Florida every other year, and then we do Christmas in Florida every other year with my wife's parents, and we're going down for a full week this time. We're actually leaving early because they have something they call standing ovations, where they fly in all these sculptures from around the world on the beach and do these epic sandcastles and stuff. And then Saturday night before Thanksgiving, they light off fireworks on the beach, just like they did for the 4th when we were there. And so we're going early. We're pulling the kids. Kids are going to miss 4 days of school, but we're going to go for that. And then we'll be back day after Thanksgiving. We're flying back, but it'll be fun. I haven't seen her mom since I think September. So we could get. And then my brother-in-law and his family are coming. We're all flying together, and it'll be a fun family week.
Sweet, man. I'm excited for you.
So we went to my parents met us at a restaurant in downtown Victoria called Winchester and Rye, which I should told them I'm gonna mention this on the podcast with 100 people listening, because then we'll get like a free appetizer or something. But no, I started off with a nice little beer and order wings, and then I had a coffee chili rub fillet, which was amazing. And I had myself an old Brickyard Old Fashioned. It was delicious.
Bro, that sounds joy. Taste buds on nuclear. A coffee and what rub? Ribeye?
Coffee chili rub fillet.
Fillet, excuse me. Oh, sheesh.
My only knock on a fillet is that it's too small.
Exactly. I need more meat, pause. I need more.
Hence the wing. So it was really good. And like I said, Jack totally spoiled me. She got me an auger to go ice fishing this winter.
All right, so I'm not an ice fishing expert. What's an auger?
Auger is what you drill through the hole in the ice.
Man, you really did get spoiled.
I got spoiled. And then I got my father-in-law, mother-in-law got me a heater to put into the ice house, which so it's I love ice fishing. I love being a guest in somebody's ice fishing house. But Sawyer has been adamant he wants to get into it, and so he wants to do it. So what else are we gonna do in middle of February and Saturday?
You know what? I'm gonna challenge you. My pastor and our church, we have a ice house, and it's going to be up. Obviously, it was up last winter. It's going to be up this winter. And the thing is plush. I like plush. Like, this is no joke kind of ice house. And we can have any and everybody on it. We're going to get our families together and go into this ice house and rock it out for a bit. I'm going to make that happen this year. One thing that I did, I've never done ice fishing before until my pastor introduced it to us by allowing us to come out. That is one. It's the craziest thing for me personally because it's like we're driving vehicles out in the middle of a lake. What? We're defying all odds, which I'm not okay with.
And then you drill holes into said lake.
In said lake that you're on top of to pull out these fish that are living their best life. Now, here's the thing. I'm cool if it was just me, but we brought our whole family. Everybody's out there. So if this thing were to crack and bust, it's all gone. We all gone. I don't know how we gonna make this happen.
And on top of that, you're putting propane tanks down and you're heating the ice so you're warm.
Not only that, we're heating it. Exactly.
My brother-in-law has one of those ice castles with like beds and like bunks and stuff.
Yeah,
and
that's the one that we have. Yeah.
Yeah. So when the kids were really young, yeah, he would, or I should say, like 4 or 5 years ago, he used to do it quite a bit. Is he'd invite me, and Lil was too young, but I'd take Sawyer, and he'd have two of his kids most of the time. Sometimes the young one would come too, and we'd put movies on, and they'd watch movies for 2-3 hours, and him and I would just sit there, fish, and relax. Jeans and a t-shirt, like that was the fun life.
That's the life right there. Now
we are parenting.
Right, you're doing great. Here's the thing: Hazel and Quinn picked up, like we talked early shows, that Hazel and Quinn picked up liking fishing. We did that ice fishing, and they actually liked it. Once again, this is a really nice ice house, like or fish house. It looked like a camper that is done to the nines. Like you walk in, a TV, if it had internet, it could have it. Refrigerator, stove, microwave, like it's legit, my friend.
I remember the first time I was in one, I slept on it overnight, and at night you hear the douche, like what's that? That's just ice. Yeah, it's just ice cracking. I'm like, anyone else with a sense of urgency here?
So it should be fun, and I'm excited to get those girls out there again to do it. Because I, you know what, I'm willing to try it again, knowing how great of a setup we have. Luxury, because when we were driving out there, I was able to see some of the other people's setup. Someone had like a little 2-person stall. Others had kind of what was similar to what we the church had, and then also even better, or they were just doing it off of the truck. That was scary.
Yeah, well, we the one I have, my father-in-law gave to me is just a sled, and you pull over like this tent, and there's like a little 2-seater, and it'll be great. I mean, I'm excited. It gets me out of the house, and like I said, I was talking with my mom about it today. Is I wouldn't have the motivation to have one myself and do all that stuff. But
right.
Sawyer, he really wants to get into it because he really loves fishing. And all right, well then, I mean, he was deer hunting this past weekend, and I mean, he went deer hunting. He watched people deer hunt, I should say, but so he's growing up with all this outdoor stuff because of my in-laws side, and so he wants to get exposed to it. I can teach him everything, and then it's another thing to do with him. So it's.
I'm glad you just said that, because Jess made a statement. She says, "How about hunting, guys? You miss it. You're missing it right now. I've been hunting with my son since last Saturday. Great bonding time."
Good to hear. But
look here. I grew up in Detroit, Michigan. Chris, kind of similar. Not to say that Chris is not an outdoorsy person, because he absolutely is. If you been through, any of our shows, you'd know that's what he loves to do. He's about the boat. He's about the lake. Boom. I, my friend, am completely polar opposite. I am not. The reason being is because, one, I do not have the patience for any of it. Not one bit. Not another patience that I can afford to give to waiting for food, or just to say that I've shot or killed or got something. I don't have the patience for it. I'm sorry. And then to add young children that at any moment may be like, "Are we done yet?" I would be like, "Yep, let's go." I've been waiting on you to say that, actually. I've been waiting on it. But
well, I mean, I didn't grow up in hunting family, and my in-laws, my father-in-law and brother-in-law are really big hunters, and my brother-in-law's in-laws are big hunters too, and they have his in-laws have they're dairy farmers and they have a lot and stuff. And so deer hunting weekend is a big thing. And my father-in-law now goes down there with them as well. And so they invited Sawyer down there last year and this year. And like they talked to me. I've talked to my father-in-law about like getting my license and all that stuff, just so I can go, like, we could go deer hunting with Sawyer up in Ely. And I was like, part of me is like, yeah, I should do that. But at the same point, I was like, you know what? That's a great thing, a great weekend for Sawyer to have with his uncle and his cousins and his grandpa. And I'm not there to, because one, I don't know anything about it. And two, it's great bonding time for them as well. I don't want to say smother, but I do so much with my kids or with them that it's good for him to go get that bonding time with other people that, that love him very much.
Just as much, right?
Yep.
That's dope, man. I commend you, brother. That's one thing that I do love about people that have big families or that are extremely family oriented is that they make it a village. I've talked to a few people. That were really like, the village thing can really hurt you, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, well, you must got a sad village, man. Because if you have a village that's really there to help you, you can do things like this. They go spend time with grandma and grandpa where they're staying overnight. They're going with auntie and uncle and whoever else and exploring different worlds other than the one that they're they're growing up in. Right. I mean, because like you just said, you do so much with them still. It's cool for them to be able to go with. It's cool that he can go with his uncle and his grandfather and try something completely different and come back and be able to tell you with that excitement,
Yeah. I'm so grateful that he gets that experience. I remember, like I said early on in this podcast, my love of fishing, like I didn't grow up fishing. There's my grandpa and my uncle would take me once a week for 2 summers before we moved. And that's like where I remember that to my grandpa would come pick me up and drive me 45 minutes at 7 a.m, wake my uncle up, and they would take me fishing. And like, I just, to this day, I don't get on a boat without thinking about them and, the stories and stuff. We still joke about it, my brother and I and my dad. And I've told the stories to Soy, and he makes the same jokes that we were making on the boat. And, little things like my grandpa would be fishing and he'd turn his head and we'd tug at his line like he got a bite, and he'd sit up like he got a bite. And so Sawyer does the same thing. And that's great, man. I love being an uncle as well. And I'm happy that I'm blessed to have that too. I know that you have Katie's brother is awesome.
Right.
And his wife is really awesome as well. I know they're all about family as well. His wife would be my sister, but I know that they're great, and you guys have a lot of cool traditions as well. And it's good it's good for the kids to grow up with that. I mean, at the end of the day, it's all about your home, but it's great to have the help and the love that's elsewhere.
That's what's up, man. Hey, I got something spicy for us, my guy. I was kind of telling you that before we started, but this one here is real spicy.
Well, you said juicy. Now it's spicy. I like them both. Can it be juicy and spicy?
I think more spicy than juicy.
More tingly than hot. All right. All right. All right, sniper, shoot.
Right. I was flickering on TikTok. Actually, I wasn't even on TikTok. I was on or did I find it on TikTok first? Anywho, I was on Instagram or Twitter, and I was just swiping on the reels and looking at the minute to 2 minute sensations of whatever they're doing. And I came past this one. This mom was about to start doing the TikTok, and then her daughter came in. I'm gonna leave it at that, and I'm gonna just show you guys. Check this out. All the people that are chilling with us right now, I want your input on it too. Once you finish hearing it, and kind of get your feedback on what your thoughts are or thoughts are on this one here. So here it comes in a second. So this young lady right here is starting a TikTok. Can we all see her?
Yes, sir.
All right. So let's go ahead and make sure the volume is still on there. Here we go. Check it out. Uh-oh.
So I was about to make a TikTok, and my daughter came in with this.
Sassy, Mom, I'm gonna tell you this before they tell you this, because they're gonna say a lie. Because you know how you told me men are providers and protectors, right?
Men are providers and protectors.
So that means they go outside and work.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So you know how David's dad stay home, right?
Yes.
While David's mom goes out and work.
Okay.
So they was bothering me, talking about all the other stuff, and I was like, "That's why your dad's a bitch." And then he's like, "I'm gonna tell your mom, blah blah blah." So I was like, "Okay, but I don't want you to be mad at me because I call him a bitch because he stays home while his wife is working." They want to speak to you downstairs.
To me, the last part kills me every time.
What did he say? I didn't catch the last thing he said. What was the last thing he said?
The last thing she said was, they want to speak to you downstairs. Yeah, they want to speak to you downstairs. So when I saw that, I was like, hold on, man. Am I in my feelings? Did I take this too personal? Am I not looking at the undertones? There was a lot going on. So I had to go jump into the comments. I read some of the comments, and a lot of ladies that were of the African American, saying background was like, sis ain't said nothing wrong. I see you. I feel you. Ain't nothing wrong with it. And I'm just like, dang, dog. So I thought about chiming in on it. And I'm like, well, a lot of people, and then a couple guys also was like, well, what if he works at night? Like, we missing that part. Like, what if he worked at night? Like, is that he? But then again, I was in my mind, I'm like, what's wrong with a father being home with his children? Why is it that he can't be a provider and a protector while being at home with his children? Like, what's your thoughts on it, Chris?
I mean, many things. I mean, comedic, like the comedic effect. Yeah, it's funny. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
They look like they had a roof over their heads. So I mean,
that part.
And I mean, I've gotten comments all the time, and every now and again it'll get me. But like, at the end of the day, it works for my family. Like, I mean, the only not having a job, the only two people that need to talk about that not having a job, like, brings in money, is between Jackie and me. Everyone else, I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit. Like,
facts.
I'm not preaching or bragging or saying my kids are great, but my kids are very respectful. They're very well behaved. They do well in school, and that's a lot of that is, I don't want to say good parenting, but like a good family structure, and that's what works for our family. So I don't really care. Every now and again, like when someone close will make a remark, and I can come back at them or something. But I mean, there are plenty of families plenty of people that can't stay at home with their kids, right? They don't have they either need to be at work, or they can't deal with the emotional capacity of it.
Oh, there's also talk about it. Wait a second. Hold on. Let that breathe.
Okay.
Wait a second. Like, the people in here might not have caught that right away. Wait a second.
Big words.
Say that again. They can't be what?
Handle the emotional capacity.
Wow. Yeah. I don't think people catching that one.
Journalism major. Yes.
Yeah.
No, but again, on the flip side, there are families that I mean, some people obviously don't have the choice. They need to make it work, make ends meet. We've always, there's been 3 or 4 times since Soy was born where we kind of crunched the numbers, and it was like, okay, I need to, you come home from work and I need to go, find a night job, just make grocery bills and stuff like that. And then all of a sudden, something happens, and Jack, she works so hard, she has a great job, and it's like randomly she gets like a promotion, or gets like, okay, so now we're okay. But like, there are people, like I told the story early on when Sawyer was a baby and things were tough, and 1 month into it, she was on maternity leave, I was home too, and we were struggling the hell with him. And she actually sat down with me and said that, I know I've said this before, she asked me if I would be okay staying with him for a year, because she wasn't comfortable with him going to daycare.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember, I always thought, like I said this before too, is people say, "Oh, man's job is to go to work." I'm like,
Right. Yeah.
I was always taught that a man's job is to do what's best for his family. So whatever that is, whatever that role is, that's what the role is. And so I remember her asking me, "Would you be okay staying with Soy for a year until he kind of settles down? Because I don't know if I'd be comfortable with him in the daycare." And I remember like, hey, absolutely, whatever works. And I remember thinking like, it's not going to be a year. And I was still going on interviews at this point. I was fresh out of college, and I was like, there's all these emotions and things, but I was like, you know what? As long as our bills are paid and our kids are taken care of, I could give a shit what anybody else
thinks. Yeah. That's the tough part, man. And I think people that get in this role or either choose to or not, like myself, I really didn't choose it. It was kind of put upon me based on outside environments that caused it. And I felt like my identity and my role was to be the provider. My way of providing was working and being out there and doing what I was supposed to. Although even at my height of the career, still wasn't making as much as or more than Katie, right? Like, she's in the nursing profession and does extremely well. And then just like how you said, just when we thought it was getting tight, boom, here comes another promotion. Boom, here comes extra for working another whatever. So it was able to take care of what needed to be taken care of. And then in my interim, I had to think about it. Like the traits that are inside of me told me that I need to be home. I have more patience out of the two of us. I have more, not delegation, but more, I'm more stern with them. Not to say that she isn't, but they tend to listen to me a lot easier than they do to her. I don't know why. I think it's a mom thing. I don't know. It's just that they feel like they can get over. They can keep pushing until it's breaking. I'm like, that's not going over here.
I think when, like I said, I was still going on interviews, and like 2 weeks before he was born, I went on an interview for a job, and it paid pretty well for someone fresh out of college. And at the time, it was actually more than what Jack was making. And I made out of 120 people, I was one of 3 people called back for a finalist, and I was called back a week after Sawyer was born. So then he's a month old. Jackie's on maternity leave, and I went in for this interview, and I didn't get the job, obviously. But
that's tough.
Right. And at the time, it was really tough. And this is right around the time Jackie had the conversation, like, do you think that you would be willing to stay? But like, I think long and hard about what would have happened, because that job, it paid a decent amount of money, and I was all for it, and I would have really done well with it. I know I would have, but it kind of, they say things happen for a reason. It kind of worked out because I don't know how Jackie's even admitted this too. What she loves about me being at home is when especially when they were really little, is if they're sick or if they need to go to the doctor or something, and even now in school, one of them's sick, they need to come home from school, or last year with COVID, they need to come home for 2 weeks because they're like, then she can just focus on her career because they're with dad at all times and they're taken care of. So I mean, I love the jokes. It doesn't bother me.
It is, right.
But
I thought that was interesting to show you, or just because it's the dynamic that now. So I take it a layer deeper, right? Go ahead.
I would just like to say, I didn't cut you off, but I would like to know what she does for a job. You know what I mean? Like, what's her role in the family? But sorry, dig deeper.
No, and that's where I was digging deeper at. Like, I want to dig deeper to the point of what are you doing? But not only that, it's like, okay, we're teaching our children. It's nothing wrong to teach a young woman that what she should look for in a man for attributes, like being a protector and provider for whatever that looks like. It shouldn't be from a monetarily gain or a monetary standpoint. It should be from, how does this person protect and provide for you in your situation? Because you can't teach the double standard. You can't say, go be woman roar and then be like, but you need to find a man that's gonna, take care of you and protect you, so you can work, he can work. And in my mind, I'm like, well, who taking care of the children then? So you gonna call somebody else in to take care of your child? Wouldn't it feel better, or it feel better that someone from the relationship can take care of the child at home if it's a possibility?
I remember texting you a few times this summer when you were going through a tough time and just saying things like, I was saying like, hey man, we're blessed to do this. Like we get like it was like a Friday, and I think it was like a Wednesday, and I was up at the lake with the kids. It doesn't have to be a lake; it just be whatever. But like I'm doing something special with my kids. It's 85 and sunny outside, and it's noon,
Right.
and I get to go do this with my kids. Like obviously Jackie had to say it, and she helped, but I potty trained my kids. You know what I mean?
Right.
I saw their first steps. They're recorded by me, and I was there, and I was catching them when they fell, and so I mean I'm so blessed to have that, and my kids have always been taken care of. Now I there's always that chip over my shoulder of, I could have been in the workforce and had a career, like I joke and say
Right.
my line I always joke with the kids when they'd be melting down is that I always be like, I have a college degree, but I cannot conquer this 2-year-old and this baby. You know what I mean? Like, I like I say, I'm a liberal arts major, and I sat through like science classes, and I had to take some kind of logic class because I can't do math. That was my math course.
Right.
So I was like, so I had to fight through that, and damn it, I did it. But this 3-year-old and this 1-year-old, they beat me today.
That part, they whooped me. Speaking of a 3-year-old and a 1-year-old, my 1-year-old is starting to beat me. She closer to 2, obviously, because I spoke about it. And here's my thing: I need to figure out code words or something, because I'm not understanding half of the stuff that she wants sometimes. Where it's just like she'll say the word, and then she'll just keep saying that word, and it doesn't, and the word does not improve. I wonder if you guys go through that. Like the people that are watching, if you have children and they're young and they're just learning words, what are you doing? Do you just figure it out and then you walk them through that word until they learn it? Do you have, Chris, any code words or anything in your family that kind of helps you understand what they're wanting or needing, especially when they were young up till now?
Oh, well, Lilio, her S's were always F. So when she needed a sucker, she needed a fucker. You need a fucker. I think I told the garbage truck story here, right? When she called her, she had a joke. It was knock knock, who's there? And it was dump truck. And the dump truck who? Dump truck has poop in it. But she couldn't say T, so it was dumb fuck. It was like dumb fuck has poop in it. I was like, what? And so I'll show you a video. I have videos of her just dropping the F-bomb left and right, and like I'm laughing so hard at her, and so she thinks her joke is so funny, and then
so funny.
Like, I'm sorry, what was that?
Say that one more time.
Yeah, one more time. But I think someone in ECFE once, when Sawyer said something to her, she looked at me, she goes, translation, and I said he wants this or whatever it was. But
so
go ahead.
I love that you did the translation part, because when Quinn was growing up, around that 2 or 3 year age, 2 or 3 age, Hazel was our translator, because there were some things that Quinn couldn't just get out. So we'll look at Hazel like, what was that? And she'll say it and knew exactly what it was. I'm like, how are you speaking code?
Hazel was like, "Oh, Quinn says that I need a steak and some ice cream." That's what Quinn said. Is Quinn said Hazel needs a new bike.
That part, and they getting it exactly.
Write it down. Let's go. Yeah, it's funny. It's funny that you actually mentioned code words, because I was going to talk to you about code words. Do you have a code word for your kids? Like if they were to be picked up somewhere or something by somebody else they weren't expecting.
Ooh.
Because I think that is, I teased it a little bit on the post beforehand. I think that's an important thing. We have one for our kids. So I always say if unless it's grandma or grandpa or auntie and uncles, if somebody picks you up at the bus stop or at school or like sees you somewhere and they say, "Hey, your mom and dad talked to me. You need to come with me." And what's your code word? What's the code word? Because we taught our kids this years ago, and we have a code word. Have you talked to your kids about that at all?
We have not, but we have talked about not getting in stranger cars unless they're family. Period.
Right.
Not even negotiable.
But there are classmates that you don't know that they're friends with, and they know their parents. And I'm not saying it's weird or anything, but I'm just
yeah, that's fully understandable. But no, that just gives me a better outlook on that. We need to do that. We have not explored the word, a code word for those kind of instances. No, thank you. I will start that this week for sure.
Yeah. So we have a code, and I thought we talked about this. I thought I told this story, but because when Sawyer was in kindergarten, we went over it and we really emphasized what our code word is in our family, and the kids know it, and obviously Jackie and I know it. And so we're sitting at the dinner table and we were going over it again, and we said, "So what's our code word?" And Sawyer goes, "I know it." I'm like, "Well, what is it?" But we're going over it. He's like, "I know it, but I can't say it." So you can say it. It's here. We're the people that need to know it. He goes, "I'll get in trouble." I was like, "No, you won't." I go, "No, you won't." What's our code word? He goes, "Fuck." And I go, "No, it's not. Absolutely not." It's like this.
Yeah.
I look at Jack. Was that on you? Is that on me? Like, no. Who in the F?
Yeah, I must be dropping some F-bombs in the crib there, my guy.
No, I'm guilty of inappropriate jokes and stuff. Jackie's more of like, she'll stub her toe and she'll drop the F-bomb and then sort of be like, "Oh, nice one, Mom." But I'm more of the inappropriate joke. Like I can't think of one off the top of my head, but I'll quote movies or something like that, and then like Sawyer will repeat it.
That's it.
Jackie just looks at me like, she's like, "Nice, Chris." So
thank you, sir. No, we haven't gotten the code words, but we're going to use that. And to anybody and everybody listening and watching, please set up a code word, or set up just something that with your children that to help them not get abducted and kidnapped. I mean, they do live in the suburbs, but if you live in the suburbs or not,
don't matter where you live.
Man, yep. Jess says, excuse me. She says, "That's so smart. I told my kids I don't care if it's a cop, firefighter, or anyone. Unless I tell you, you can go with someone. You never go with them. But I'm going to use a code word." So smart.
Awesome. Good to hear. Yeah.
Go ahead and impacting people.
Yeah. Someone told me that. Yeah. That's why I think it's important. I think it was an ECFE. I actually learned that, hanging out with a bunch of moms who talked about a code word. But yeah.
And shout out to Jess. I don't know if she still is, but I remember that she went to go be a firefighter, and so that's why it was important that she said that too, because maybe someone from her squad might go pick her up. But nope, no matter what.
While we're here, happy Veterans Day to all those
do that right
that
on
are serving or have served. Respect to our military always.
Shout out to them all, man. Appreciate you for everything that you have done. Whether you like the government now or you still love them,
doesn't matter.
Thank you for doing it. Well, I mean, I've met some veterans that are like, "Man, fuck the government." Excuse me.
Oh, I thought. So I'm sorry. I thought you meant people. If people didn't like the like.
Oh no! I'm talking about people that served.
Right. Okay. No, I'm sure. You don't have to be. You don't have to serve to not like the government. I'm just saying. Like, you don't have to be like pro-war to be pro-soldiers. You know what I mean? Like I respect our military for so many reasons, and you might not like them going to war and not like the calls, but I mean, a lot of these people are kids who are fighting for their country. So I always support them. Absolutely.
Yep. She says, "I am a firefighter and paramedic," and yes, thank you to who all have served for sure. We appreciate you too, man. Especially all the chaotic stuff that's been happening here within the last year or so, and how your work and line of duty is ramped up. And so thank you for doing what you do as well. Go ahead.
I was going to say a day in the life. You know what I had to do this morning?
What's that?
And a huge shout out to my neighbors down 2 houses down, Maria and Emra, if they're listening. Emra has his own podcast. If anyone we talked a little bit about hunting. He has a bow hunting podcast. Bow Hunting Soul is his podcast. Anyways, Sawyer has a leopard gecko. Have we talked about his leopard gecko at all?
Not at all.
He's got a pet leopard gecko. Well, about 2 weeks ago, Stuntz started getting a big bulge above his head. Sorry.
Oh, really?
Not his head. We found out the gender today. Anyways, big bulge on the head. And so we had called in to get it looked at, and they literally said, well, one place they're booked out until next Saturday when we're in Florida, and the other place they're booked out till Christmas. They said, "Oh, we're booked out till Christmas, but somebody canceled unless you can come out at 9:30 tomorrow in North St. Paul." So I had to. We booked it, and then my neighbors were nice enough to take the kids this morning for 45 minutes, so I can get them on the bus for me, so I can go go take this leopard gecko to a vet. I'm like, this is my morning. Like Jack and I were up late last night. It was my birthday last night, so I had a couple of drinks and tired, exhausted, get up extra early, get the kids out early. Lunch is made. I'm like sweating in my car because I've got the heat blasted to keep the gecko warm. And I'm going there, and this vet is like going over how to raise a gecko and all this stuff. And so I'm just like driving home like exhausted. And it's like 10:45. I'm like, this was my life today. Was driving 45 minutes to get a gecko looked at.
Was it something that was important? Or was it growing horns or what?
The vet gave her. We found out today that Stuntz is a girl. And she showed me the whole examination. It's like, you would see too little. I'm like, I wouldn't see it. It's a gecko. He's this big. I mean, not knocking his or her lack of package. I'm just saying, like, I wouldn't know. Like
that part.
Anyways, she said it was diet and dehydration basically. And then something wrong with the environment. And then it's like, said all these things that we're doing wrong. She's like, but tell your son he's doing a great job. And I'm like, okay, I will.
That's it. Keeping it up.
So antibiotics and the gecko. That was my life this morning.
Hey, look, it was better than mine. Mine was just full of cleaning the same things I've cleaned last night. House was clean when I went to bed. They woke up, ate breakfast, smashed the house, took them each one off to school by, their times that they needed to. And then after that, I was just cleaning. Now, here's the worst part. Here's why my day don't go well. My dishwasher stopped working. So now I have to wash all my dishes by hand, which is, it sounds first world problems, but what it doesn't allow me to do is to multitask. I rinse the dishes off, I put them in the dishwasher, and I let them wash while I go pick up laundry. Now I got to wait and work on these dishes for 45 minutes to an hour and then go do my other stuff. Anywho, that's just me blabbing on about that. Guys, please, I need you to go do us a favor, man. Go ahead and follow us on all platforms. Hit that like button, hit that share button. Let everybody know what we're doing over here, man. And we're here every single Thursday, right after the football game, to just talk our talk and just give you what you got today, right? You can catch us on all platforms, TikTok and Twitter, at RadBadSAHD. And then we're also streaming on all platforms for your podcast lovings. Chris, you got anything before we get out of here, man?
Yes, the next time the Ravens play the Dolphins, they go on after us because that game was boring as all hell.
It was boring.
And also, the song that we used was Box Stuff, but Funky Box Step by Kevin MacLeod, and it can be found at incomtech.filmmusic.com. Next time we have it played up, we'll have a link to credit him for his music. So
that part, love and love. Guys, I need you to go ahead and do me one more favor. I know I'm asking for a lot, but please, 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 please be your absolute best, because being empowered starts today. We live life, we love unconditionally, and we seek growth. When we do all three of those, we're in our alpha state. So stay primal and get after it. Protect your peace and drink water is all I ask. I love you, man. Here's that song that he was talking about, man. It's a pretty rad one. I'm glad that we do have it amongst us now, but we got some great stuff coming to you within the next week, man. So check us out. Make sure you tag in, make sure you share with us, and be excited, just like how I am.
Michael.
Oh, you see that?
Yeah, I do. There we go.
There we go. Guys, have a good night.